Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Art Chat Daddy Sims, back for another Tuesday night of adult conversation talking about real things that people need to know. As you guys all know, this is the Real Chat Daddy Show, but we've changed some things around. The show is now the Real Chat Daddy Show with Dr. Philip Love Hurts. This is our new series that we've started. As you guys all know, Philip Montgomery is a mental health expert. He's here to help us navigate through some of the problems and situations that we're facing in today's society. And Dr. Philip actually specializes in Black men mental health. Dr. Philip, glad to have you back again. How are you, my friend? What's new? And let's talk a little bit before we bring the wonderful women in who will be joining us tonight to talk about relationships.
Sure. Everything's going well. Excited about tonight. Everything will be new as soon as we start talking. But so far, today has been a great day.
Absolutely. I've been looking at quite a few of the things that have been going on in the news lately. Recently, it just broke that the former chairman of Abercrombie and Finch, and
Mm.
as you guys all know, that's a young, trendy adult store where you can only be a certain size to shop in there. When Abercrombie and Finch first started opening up their stores, they had outside their stores scantily clad young men that would have on no shirts. You had to be sexy to work at Abercrombie and Finch. I'll never forget. I walked in there one time, like, I want to work for Abercrombie and Finch. And they was like, we can make you the stock manager. I was like, the stock manager? I want to stand outside and entice people to come in. So now I figured out why I did not get that job, because the president at the time was going around the world looking for young men and male prostitution and enticing these young men with contracts. This was the breaking news today. What do you think about that story?
I think it's horrible. I mean, it seems like a lot of things are coming to light with how our young people are being abused. And you're looking at a population of people where they all want their moment of fame, and when they put things on the scale at that age, they're not really equipped to make the healthiest decision at times, and then other times the need for money and resources to change their lives and their families' lives just outweighs the risks that they're taking. But when you looked at that particular magazine, you when you look at it in hindsight, maybe more questions should have been asked. I mean, you heard things mentioned about it, but more questions should have been asked about why they were so young and why the photographs were so provocative. And it's sad to say that through those catalogs, he was selling more than clothes.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, this is one of many cases that we've been hearing about in the news recently of men, allegedly. All of this
Hmm.
again is alleged. I don't want
Correct.
nobody suing my show. I don't want nobody coming at me, any of that kind of stuff. This is all alleged. If we look at P. Diddy, if we
Hmm.
look at Harry Weinstein, if we look
Hmm.
at any of these powerful men who have been out here, who have received all type of fame, glory, a very autonomous life, it
Hmm.
kind of blows my mind that we are able to now. I don't know. Now more than ever, these people are being caught up. They're getting caught for their wrongdoings.
Well, you also have to remember this kind of behavior has been probably going on since the beginning of time. It's just that as we have more information available to us, and things, as our grandparents used to say, that were done in the dark are coming to the light a lot faster. We're learning more about these behaviors. But even you take Bill Cosby, you take so many others before him, you've got a lot of people who've been basically getting their kicks through the trafficking of sex. And the sad part is, we look at our young people and it just doesn't, it seems like they're more of a commodity in some cases. And I don't know what's going to happen in the future, because as more and more of these cases come to light, we'll probably understand more about the damage that it's doing to people. Look at some of our entertainers. I question what they've been through. No, they have not been mentioned in any of these crimes yet, but I'm pretty sure that they're not isolated. There are probably some very famous people who, if we knew, it would really be horrible because it would explain a lot about their suffering.
Right. Well, you and I talk about this, and our friendship goes back over 30 years. We were friends in the cradle, since we don't want nobody to age us. Oh, and by the way, happy belated birthday, Dr.
Thank you.
Phillip. Happy
Thank you.
birthday. Yes, we went out to celebrate your birthday the other day. But listen, I tell people, being a young Black man raised here in Chicago, me being the person that I am and having the personality that I have, you as well as other people know, I met people because of their proclivities
Hmm.
before I met people because of their profession.
Hmm.
And I think that's a lot of the way society is. I mean, we all remember our favorite clubs and meeting somebody sexy and thinking you're getting ready to build something with them. And it turns out not to be what it is. And things turn out not to be what they appear to be in the beginning.
That's a big part of it. But I believe when you start looking at the very young people that we're talking about, I think a lot of it is, even look at the picture they showed on about Russell Lee Simmons and Kamora Lee Simmons, and she was 17. That wasn't a club thing. That was a negotiation that was probably taking place. But since she didn't complain and everything worked out, we never gave it a second thought. A lot of what you're seeing with these young people is just abuse. It's not even the
Yeah,
same kind of thing.
right.
It's more that they're being taken advantage of, and there's somebody profiting. And the question is, as they always say, we need to follow the money and see who the big profiters have been from a lot of these behaviors and these sex trafficking crimes.
Interesting, very interesting. Well, we want to remind everyone that it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If for any reason you feel as if you may be in a domestic violence situation, we ask that you please do what you can to try to get out of that situation. Here at the Real Chat Daddy Show with Dr. Phillip Love Hertz, we want to help as many people as we possibly can to get out of any particular situation that you're in. If you do feel as if you're in a domestic violence situation and it's putting you in a situation of maybe suicide, or you feel like there's a crisis in your life, we ask that you please reach out to the Crisis and Suicide Lifeline. You don't have to dial a long number anymore. You can dial 988 or you can text 988. English, Spanish, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you feel alone, feel as if there's pressure, problems, whatever the case may be, get you some help. Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Don't you agree, Dr. Phil?
I do very much. Reach
Very
out.
good.
Reach
Huh?
out. I said reach out.
Reach
Don't
out.
don't don't suffer in silence. Just
That's right.
please
As
reach
Diana
out.
Ross would say, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Right.
All
Reach out
right.
and get you some help. Okay. Amen.
Exactly.
Very good. All right. Well, tonight we're going to talk about dating over 40. So, as you guys all know, I put a call out on social media asking people would they like to share their dating over 40 stories. And believe it or not, quite a few people did, to the point that I want to do more shows with a lot of these people who I've contacted, talked to. We got people in LGBTQ plus relationships. We have people who have been in relationships for years. The relationship ended during the pandemic. We've had people that are considered, I got a group of people that consider themselves serial social daters, as far as online and ads and apps and things like that. So all of these people down the road are going to come on and talk to us. But our first two ladies tonight, one is Ro and the other one is Rhonda. And so our conversation tonight is dating after 40. What has life been about? And so we're going to talk to both of these ladies, get their stories. I have some fun little games and things that we're going to play as we talk about this. But for those that are over 40 that really want to be in a serious relationship or meet somebody great, I don't know if that's happening anymore. Let's welcome these two ladies to the show. Good evening, ladies. How are
Hey,
you?
Hey, good evening.
how are you?
Good.
Good.
Is both of them there? Hold on, wait. Let me see. Wait. All right.
There
Beautiful.
we go.
There we go. How are you this evening?
I'm doing
Great.
Good. Glad to have both of you ladies. Rhonda, I'm going to start with you first. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. You can tell what you want to tell. And then I will introduce our next guest, and then we'll get this conversation started. Go right ahead.
Sure. My name is Rhonda. I'm Chicago raised, Southside, but I also now currently live across the border. I enjoy just life itself, and I'm raising two beautiful daughters, as well as I am working in a great company.
Okay, very good. So a well-to-do woman, the mother of two daughters. I can't wait to get into dating thing. You're a very attractive lady, and I'm not being
Thank you.
fresh or managed, but you're a very nice looking lady. So I
Thank
can't
you.
wait to talk to you ladies about, what the deal is. Our next guest is actually a friend of mine. I've known her quite a while. I met her many years ago. She is to me a spiritual energy. And when I say that, because she's just always so perky, always so giving. She's been on the show with us before to talk about women empowering themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome back to the show our good friend, the one and only Ro. How are you this evening?
Hey, how are you, Chad?
Good.
Hey, how are you?
Good. It's so glad to have you here. Ro, tell everybody about yourself, who you are, and why, and a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and then we'll get into
Little bit of this, little
Yes.
bit of that. Well, my name is Ro. I am a free spirit. Boop, 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 boop. So I'm a hula hooper, I'm a model, I'm a dancer, I do burlesque. I'm just out here really enjoying as much of life as I can. I'm trying to have a whole human experience.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. I think this is a great variety of women this evening. We have the mom, the great job, Ro, you're the free spirit, Dr. Phil. I think this is really great. All right, so I want to start off with the first question before we get into everybody's story. Ladies, the list that you had when you were in your early 20s of what you're looking for in a man, is that list still valid where you are in life right now?
No.
Go ahead, Rhonda. Tell us the yes and the no of it.
Well, the no part of it is it was more about the looks, how they appealed to you, what you saw, what I saw growing up. But as I got older and got more into the spiritual life, it was about being focused on God, how do your cores match my core, and how can we grow together?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love that. I do. I think that's really good. I really, really do. Ro, what about you?
Chat, I'm a mama too, so I have to say that. My
Oh,
son
that's right. You are. I forgot. My bad. Look, he a grown man now. I forgot. Yes, my
is
bad.
a freshman in college. My list has definitely changed because things have opened up. Like in my 20s, I was more so like men. Now it's men and women. So
Oh,
yes. So
oh,
I have opened up that like more open to love all around, and before it was a little more superficial, like how tall are they, how they look, what did they do, and now I'm just more into like, do you treat me well? Can
okay.
you treat me right? Are you compassionate? Can you respect me? Are you trying to possess me? Things like that.
Interesting. Dr. Phillip and I were actually talking before both of you ladies joined us backstage, and I was kind of sharing some of my past relationship issues with him. And like I said, we've been knowing each other as friends over 30 years. And so I want to find out from both of you ladies, what are you finding in the dating pool now? And how much are you in the dating pool? I'm gonna start with you first, Ro, and then Rhonda, I'm gonna come to you after Ro. Go right ahead, Ro.
Well, what I'm finding in the dating pool now is, this isn't gonna sound nice.
Okay.
The dating pool is kind of shallow. It has pee in it and a little poop. It's nasty. It's toxic. I don't like it.
Wait a minute. You said the dating pool has a little pee and some poop in it.
Mhm.
Girl, look, where my amen button at? Look, where my yes, amen, amen. Look, This is probably one of the most refreshing conversations ever. A LGBTQ plus man, a woman who likes both, and a Christian, woman. So yeah, great, and the doctor. So this is getting ready to take us far. I would have to agree with you 100%. Now, Rhonda, I want to come to you and find out, what has that dating pool been like, and have you been in and out of it? What's going on?
Well, I've been in and out of it. It's not the best, because people start out one way, and once you continue to talk to them, you find out they're not what they say they are. And I don't know, it's not like when you met with somebody and you call them up or they call you up and you go out on a date and then you'll get to know each other. It's just not like that anymore.
Wow. So wait a minute. So, okay, we're going to have to start comparing notes here. Why is that? Because to me, a great date, especially if we meet online, is we kind of go over each other's profiles. We kind of go back and forth. I don't believe in telling too much. You shouldn't tell too much. But then I believe, hey, you want to meet for coffee? You want to meet for lunch? I think those are about as big as things that we can do. But it seemed like, Dr. Phillip, that everybody's having problems right now. Do you know why this is? And you do specialize in men's mental health.
I would say because a lot of us wear masks.
Mhm.
And, when you start talking about the difference between dating at 20, you really haven't had a chance to put on all the masks. You may have recorded trauma, but people are more likely to be their authentic selves around 2025. By the time you get to 40, life it's dealt you a few blows. Reality looks a different way to you, and you've accumulated several masks for different situations. And I think after you're about 35 or so, I'm not saying you're set in your ways, but you need to know you. Because your personality might not be the personality for a long relationship in a particular season. So you have to say, what else is going on with me, and what else am I seeing with this person that I'm trying to establish a relationship. Too many of us are doing so many things that communication is just off.
I
And
agree.
if communication is off, the relationship is going to struggle to work because neither person is really telling the truth about what they want or need.
Mm-hmm. Ladies, can I ask this? Do you go older, younger, or what is your judging factor on older, younger? And what, Ro, what, I see you smiling already.
Because when people ask me that question, I tell them, look, I'm somewhere between a cougar and a caregiver. I have dated all, like, they have been extremely young and they have been old. Okay. So that's
Okay. Okay, very good. Rhonda, what about you?
I would say it's been both, but more towards the younger scale than the older scale, because the older scale seems to not really want to put forth the effort.
And that's what's making me wonder, what is that all about? Because I must admit as well too, last relationship was with somebody much younger. I was just telling somebody earlier today that I prefer somebody younger because I want you to keep me young, funky, fresh, and I'm talking today about friends that are my age and older are losing it, and I want somebody to keep me on and popping, but I meet somebody my age and we both got so many issues that I'm like, oh, Jesus, wait, okay, be a fence, be a fence. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know. That's interesting, very interesting. Ladies, have you thought about dating outside of your race?
Yes.
yep.
Okay, all right, Rhonda, what's your take on outside of the race?
That's a little different because I think they don't really understand how to approach us all the time as far as being a Black woman, unless they've already dated Black women. So I think a lot of it can be more advantageous if you go online for dating when it
Okay.
comes to meeting outside your race.
Very good. I agree with that. Ro, how do you feel about the interracial dating thing? I know you such a soul sister, so this would have to be whoever it is, but sure enough have to know how to corn roll, eat whole cakes, honey, know how to play spades. I know all of that now. So what do you think about interracial?
So, okay. I have done it, but I love my brothers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really, brothers and sisters, I'm really trying to give them a chance and trying to hold on for hope. I'm holding on tight. All right, but it's my fingers starting to slip. I'm like, come on, y'all. Like, losing my grip.
And I think we're starting to hear more and more of that. Um, Dr. Phillip, you specialize in men. What are men saying nowadays when it comes to relationships?
Well, a lot of them you have to remember. So if we're talking about the type of person that I would have for a client, typically you have to remember their lives. So what sorts of relationships did they see growing up? Did they have successful dating relationships before? Have they been successfully married before? What sorts of things that have they experienced that would indicate that they're ready for a relationship? And the same thing for the women that they would be involved with. When you start talking about dating outside the race, the real truth is opposites really do attract. And I think because of the world the way it is now with the technology and the ability to double click on people, it is giving us an opportunity to learn more about one another. And as Rose said, she would like to be in a relationship with a black man, but she's finding probably that her energy is really strong, and a lot of the males that she's running into aren't ready for that energy. But she's probably finding that a lot of the white males are receptive to it. So it's just you have to understand your personality and who you align with, and it may not always be who you thought you would be with.
You know what, ladies, and I'm gonna say this, and this is only because, and I love women, and but being a man who has been on the outside looking in, a lot of professional women, well-to-do women, women with very bold personalities, alpha personalities, a lot of men are very intimidated by that, and
Hmm.
and and that has been a huge problem for a long time. And here's the deal. I'm proud, sister, get your degrees, own that house, have that great job, travel with your girls, do all of that. But a lot of these men that women are attracted to, these men are very, very intimidated by that. Have you faced that, Rhonda, at all in your situations?
Before
Yeah.
you answer,
Oh,
I,
yes,
I
go ahead.
just want to say that also you have to remember that a lot of these men were raised by women who had to be real, real strong in order to run a household. And a lot of these men did not have the benefit of being around a man who was equally as strong. So they are struggling because they don't really know how to behave in the role. It's not that the women are so strong, it's that so many of the men have not been taught how to be a strong leader, because that's what it's all about, communication and leadership. You could be married and have a very strong partner, but if you're confident in who you are as a man, that won't matter at all. But you're looking at a lot of men, and black men especially in our society, that have recorded so much trauma that their masks are so heavy that they're not strong in the skin that they're in, and they don't know how to deal with a woman who is.
Okay, bro, I see you shaking your head. I want to go to the comment. I think that is a factor why Black women in this Generation X demographic are not dating successfully, because we give all our hope and eggs to our Black men, but we miss out when we don't open up to white men or other races, is what she put in this other text. That's interesting. We're going to hold that for a second. Ro, were you disagreeing with Dr. Phil, or did you want to add something to that comment?
No, I definitely agree. I feel like a lot of them now, I want a feminine woman. All of you women you're so masculine, you're so hard, you're so tough, you don't listen, you won't lead. But then when they get around a real feminine energy, because I have very feminine energy, very flowy energy, then they don't know what to do. Then it's like, wait. No, girl, you belong to me. Where you going? What you doing? Where you at? Call me. wait, no. And it's like, wait, brother, chill. Because if I chose you, then I'm with you. But you so insecure because of life and things that you never got a chance to see. Like what you were saying, doctor, if they didn't grow up seeing like a good model of a mother and a father, I'm learning it's gonna be difficult.
Mhm.
It's gonna be
Mhm.
difficult, especially if you grew up in that kind of household.
Rhonda, what do you think about all that? Have you encountered any of the machismo and upbringing differences?
I have, but I think it's you have to want to do the work, right? If you say that you really want to learn, go back out and date and meet somebody and meet your person, I think that you need to be able to become emotionally available, because that's something I had to learn, after my divorce. So you
Mm,
have to decide what you really want in life, and you just can't well, my parents weren't the best, but their habits cannot be my
Mhm.
habits because that's not for me to carry, and
mm,
that's a
Exactly.
learning process.
Rhonda, if we could, a little bit of how we connected and talked is that you actually met your ex online on a dating app, correct?
Yes, my ex-husband, I did. I met
Would
him
you
on
like to
back
share some of that story? Because that's kind of where we're going next to talk a little bit about these apps. Go ahead.
Yes, I met him back in like 2007. He was still a little younger than me, so that's still not hasn't changed for me. But we met and we talked and we just connected and we continued to grow. And then eventually we wound up getting married and we had a daughter. And here we are today. Even though we're not together anymore, we're still really good friends. He just wasn't the best husband, and he'll
Okay.
admit that,
Okay.
so we just moved on.
I like that. I think it's cute. I think that when things end, people should try to remain somewhat civil. If you share a child together, I think that is very important to be great co-parenters. Dr. Phillip, I'm sure you hear that story quite a bit. Just wasn't ready for marriage, just wasn't my thing. Again, age plays a huge part in that. What do you think of all of this?
I think we all have to be realistic, and sometimes the people we're with, they just aren't the person, not the woman for me, or I might not be the man for them, or vice versa. It's there's so many things about relationships. They they're complicated and can be, but they shouldn't be that hard. So it's kind of like, how are we communicating what we need to the other person as the relationship develops? Are we really telling them the truth? Are we really telling ourselves the truth?
Right.
Even with the age difference issue, that's more of something that is like towards the bottom of the list of things.
Right, right,
The top of the list is, how do you two comprehend each other? If you know that every day I'm gonna get up and I want to do A, B, C, D, and E, then don't expect that to change. And if I know she wants to get up and she's gonna do X, Y, and Z, embrace that. Why try to change the other person?
right.
Incorporate the differences, blend them together, and develop a brand new pathway towards your future. So many of us need to be open to receive each other. That's why I said comprehend. Don't
Mhm.
just listen to me. Understand what I'm asking. Make sure I'm the person for you, not just what you think you see, but what you're really learning about me.
I love it. I really do. I really, really do. For those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. This show is entitled Love Hurts. This is a new series that I'm doing on Tuesday nights, all about relationships, all about things that you face in everyday world. We have two amazing women with us this evening. We have Rhonda down there below me in her Bears colors of orange and blue. Am I right, Rhonda? Is that Bears colors?
That is it. It says Chicago.
That's right. So that lets you know, ladies and gentlemen, she loves the Bears. And gentlemen, if you watching, she like the Bears. And then this diva over here with her four-legged baby is the one and only Miss Rowe. Free Spirit has been on with us many times before. And we're talking tonight about dating after 40. the pros and cons of dating after 40. This is a very wide variety of people. You have a man in his late 50s that's LGBTQ plus community. We have a woman here who's a mom. Well, both ladies are moms. Rose, a free spirit. The other lady is, you know, the quiet, churchy type lady that likes to have fun. And so we're talking tonight about relationships, and helping us through this is our friend, Dr. Phillip. Ladies, I appreciate you both for being here with us tonight as we continue this conversation. Ro, before we went to break, I saw some things moving around in your face. Where you at with all of this?
I really forgot where we were at, but I know some things were said, and I've been dealing with you know, kind of like breakups, right?
Okay.
And the last guy that I was with was not the best.
Okay. Okay. Are you okay from the situation?
I'm in therapy from the
Okay.
situation.
Okay. All right. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Very
I
good.
got kicked today to go see my therapist.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Well, good. All right. Hopefully this will help, you know, all of that. Okay. Very good. I mean, and that's brave of you to talk about that, because I too am in therapy because of a situation that was really triggering to me.
Mhm.
And so that's interesting. Very, very interesting. How will you move forward to be loved by somebody else from this?
So you know what? I think my picker is off, right?
Interesting.
My picker is off. I have what you were saying earlier about energy. I have a strong energy, and so when people, men specifically, see it, you know, they gravitate towards it. But I'm not always attracting the best kind of people. So at this point, I'm like, okay, it's like the Halle Berry syndrome. Oh, you know, she's always complaining, but you have to take a moment and pause and look at the common denominator. And the common denominator is you, is me. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever I need to heal, that's what I'm like in the process of working on and coming back around to myself again.
Oh, I love that. I really do. And I
And
commend you for that. Go ahead, Dr. Phillip.
it's great that you're in therapy, and I just want to congratulate you on that. But I also want to add that again, you know, we're all a work in progress,
Yes, sir.
and we have to learn how to let people know what we need. Um, Most of us learned about dating, you know, many years ago. It's a different world today, and when you're talking about how you select people, you know, your process, it's not just how you're selecting them, but how they're responding to what they're seeing. You know, it's just like you said, you have a lot of energy. And, you know, it's got to be a man that can say to himself, I know she's going to be a driving force. It's not going to be me sitting around picking everything. She's going to make some statements. She's going to have some suggestions. She's going to have some concerns. She's going to voice them. And you own that. Don't ever question whether or not that's the route you should go in, because then you're putting on a mask and not being you.
Right.
I'm sure as you work with your therapist, you will too will be able to explore probably some things in your past that you can work through and talk about as far as previous relationships, but also make sure that you let your therapist know what you really need in a man, and talk about ways that you've tried, and then maybe the therapist can coach you and give you some suggestions on things to do differently as you move forward in dating.
I couldn't agree more. Rhonda, I'm gonna come to you in just a second. You know, Ro, the one thing that I know about you, you're beautiful inside and out. You do have amazing personality, but a lot of times I've learned, and let me say this is me, that I have to get people that are completely opposite of me. When you are a over-the-top personality, when you go places, people know you, stop you, all that kind of stuff, it's really, in my opinion, and over the years, I've learned to find me somebody that is not trying to shine and sparkle. And a lot of times, good-looking people meet other shiners and sparklers. And together, that is nothing but, in my opinion, a recipe for disaster. Rhonda, what would you say about that?
I believe that's true, but I think that also if you have a person who wants to grow with you and support you, and you all support each other, and you talk about things, and you have patience and understanding, I think it'll work, because they're not going to outshine you, you're not going to outshine each other, and you're going to shine together.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Look, shining, 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 shining.
And know what your attachment style is.
Yes.
People throw these things out there and it sounds so, like it doesn't really mean anything. But if you're a person that, is a lot of your relationships are filled with a certain amount of anxiety, be self-aware. That's who you are. If you're a person that's more avoidant and tries to just keep the peace, shall we say, own that. Know who you are. I think those kinds of things and love language kinds of things, they're not the solution, but they help in the process.
Interesting. Very, very good. For those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. Love Hurts. My co-host is the one and only Dr. Philip Montgomery, mental health specialist, specializing in men's mental health, but most importantly, helping us to understand all people's mental health. Two amazing ladies with us this evening. We have Rhonda down here in her wonderful orange and blue Bears fan representing Chicago as she should and we should. Over here is Madam Rowe. Madam Rowe, and who was your baby you just had on your lap, Madam Rowe?
That is Freeway Paul Brown James.
Oh, I'm sure there's a story behind the Freeway. I'm sure we'll have to meet Freeway one night on the show. We really will. And we're sitting here talking about dating after 40, some of the pros and cons. So now I'm going to give you guys a couple of tips that I had that people have been giving me about dating and see if this makes sense with you guys. What about don't give up just because you've had a few bad dates? What advice would you all want to give to somebody on that? Anybody that's watching tonight, anybody that might be like, man, I'm in the same situation as all these people on this camera. What advice would you want to give somebody about not giving up after a bad few dates? I'm going to start with you, Rhonda, and then Ro, I'm going to let you think about it.
Okay. I say don't give up. I mean, because you will have to wade through a lot of different people. Because if you know yourself, then it won't take as long. You'll have clarity and discernment. But don't give up, because it's somebody for everybody. It's just that person hasn't revealed themselves to you. You just have to know who they are.
Oh, Lord. Well, I hope they hurry up and come on now. I will listen. I what's the song say? I've been around the world and I still ain't found my baby. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that at that. Ro, I feel it in your spirit just through this camera. Where we at with all of this?
Give up.
What you say? Let it go. Let it go.
I said time. I'm out of there for a second. Because like I said, I have to recalibrate. I have to recalibrate because I'm not even gonna lie, I've been damaged. Wow. You know what I'm saying? The last guy he broke me. So because of that, I need to take this time to really just kind of do some more work and some more molding and get that up off of me.
Okay, and I get that. I really do. Everybody has their level of what they can take and not take. I've talked to women before who have been through situations that were so, just mind changing for them that they ended up with people of the same sex, ended up in great relationships with these people, are still with these people. And they said that a lot of that had to do with soul searching after being treated so badly. And I understand that. Dr. Phillip, what do you think before we move on with this?
I think, when you feel that the attempts, the efforts are beginning to become overwhelming, that's enough room for depression to start setting in.
Right.
And that hopelessness is just not good for you. And as she said, recalibrating, taking a moment to take stock of oneself, to definitely take your spirit and boost it again. It's important, but learn from the dates that you've had, so that when you come back out again or you feel like doing it again, you've learned a little something. There was a lesson taught, and that'll help you not feel so hopeless as you continue on the journey to find someone.
Wow, heavy. Good advice.
Thank you.
Excellent advice. Are you okay with that advice, Ro?
Oh no, that sounds perfect. Yeah,
Okay.
that's why I'm like, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we have a comment up on the screen. Takana said, divorced at 40, remarried at 48. Gotta kiss a lot of toes before you find a prince or the princess. Don't give up on you. You are your self-worth, and you'll draw what you need from that. I,
Mhm.
I
I
sometimes,
agree.
I
I
agree.
agree with that.
I
I
agree.
do. I
I
agree with
agree.
that. But I just think sometimes we are handed a flaming bag of poop and we're supposed to deal with that. I don't know if that's because we live in a world of fragile people now. I don't know if people are just not living spiritually in tuned anymore. I don't know, what it is and why it's like that. Rhonda, do you have any idea why it might be like that?
I just feel like a lot of people want everything so fast and just think that they need self gratification that they don't think about other people. You
Mm.
know, they just want to do what they want to do and don't consider the other person. And I treat myself really good, so I'm not gonna let nobody treat me any less. So
Right.
if you're not treating me the way I want to be treated or the way I treat myself, then there's no need for us to spend that time and energy together.
Right. I agree. I
And
agree.
people really need to take stock of the fact that there's another human being involved. And we're not a reality show. This is real life.
Hmm.
And you want someone to value who you are as a being, not just these things they see. Because if we were both sitting in a room and you click the light off, is this still a person you would want to sit down and have a conversation with? So learning, that's why I always say, ask for what you need. If you're talking to a dude and you find that he's hearing you, but you're not seeing any growth, you're not seeing any effort, you're not seeing any signs of change, you don't want your pillars to be off forever. Affection and love and all of that is one pillar, and it's an important part. But if it's not working right, then work on the other pillars, work on productivity, work on being a part of your community. And through those efforts, you'll see some work in the affection and love pillar, and it'll start to improve also.
Ooh, amen. I almost feel like
Yeah.
putting out a collection basket. Look, almost right. Look, that was a sermon. Amen. Right.
Amen.
Amen. Right. And yes, we got to. Okay, Dr. Phillip, that was excellent. All right, so let's move on before we have to close out tonight's show. Let me go to comments real quick. Are both of you ladies okay so far? You both are doing a great job. I love
Oh,
you
thank
both.
you.
I appreciate you both. This is exactly what we need. Our numbers are climbing while people are watching. Because these are conversations that we need to have. It used to be a time when we were all very separate, the three of us. Now we are all experiencing the same problems, the same issues. And the sad part is that I've said this all along. My white counterparts have been married in relationships for years. Children are grown. They decide they want to be LGBTQ plus. The family still vacation in Hawaii with each other. All of that. I feel as if our relationships as African American people are just so damaged and been damaged for years. And I just think, why is that? We should all be in loving, healthy relationships. And so I really applaud you both for talking tonight. I really do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so here's what Takana was saying. We love you, Chef Takana. She said, after 40, people get set in their ways and refuse to heal their own trauma so that they date expecting folks to deal with them. And that's not fair. I agree 100%. I do.
I agree.
Listen, I want you to come with so little drama as possible because I'm going to try to come with little drama. I tell people you should come with drama that fits neatly underneath the seat in front of you. If you coming with a big ass suitcase, if I got to take scales out and weigh all your drama, I ain't interested. Your drama need to come in a little bag that you can take with you every time you leave. But I guess that those days are gone. I don't know. What do you think, Dr. Phillip?
I think a better way to put it is, I think after 40, you have to own your, you have to own your life, and you have to be accepting of the choices you made, the healthy ones, the not so healthy ones. And you should always be working to try to improve who you are. In our community, so much of life is kind of like, it's an illusion. We pretend that things are going well because from our ancestors, that's what you had to do to get through hard times, slavery, poverty, Jim Crow, you name it. But what we neglected to do was be open with the people that we want to be in loving relationships with. And that's where we have to really make this change. The brand is okay for the public if that's what you need to do in order to present this unified front that shows success or whatever you want to demonstrate. But as far as internally, if you want to have a strong relationship, there've got to be times, and I'll say it again, when you have to take off the mask and just be who you are with each other.
Wow. And with that being said, in this Halloween season, oh my God.
A lot of masks need to come off.
Right. I'm like, oh my God. This is going to be very interesting, just to say the least. Rhonda, I want to come back to you. Seeing that you met your ex-husband on a dating site, that it did turn into a marriage. Have you gone back into the dating sites? And what advice, give me 3 tips that you would tell people that might be looking on dating sites.
If you're looking on dating sites, make sure that you continue to kind of get to know the person. Ask important questions. Don't just ask like what you like for dinner, do you go to movies. Don't ask those simple questions. Ask the real questions. Ask like, have you healed from your past trauma?
There you go.
Oh, honey, you come right out the gate. Look, you come right out the gate. Lord, right.
Yes. Are you emotionally available to date? Do you have the space and the capacity for me?
Right. Man.
Those are the questions that you should ask. And if they give you the, well, I don't know, then that's the person you just need to move on from.
Listen, I ain't even got past the what you doing people in messages. I'm telling you, wow, that advice is like stellar. But I don't even know the last time I got that far with somebody in a message. I'm so sick of what you doing, or good morning, beautiful, or hi, right. Oh yeah, even I get good morning, beautiful. I'm sick of that too. Right, Ro, what do you say about this?
I've never gone into the virtual dating pool. That scares me. I'm an energy person, so I like to meet you and see if I connect with you and see how I feel about you. But shoot, that's been off. So maybe I should try dating virtually.
So let me ask you this. What, ladies, I think let's talk about what is an ideal first date? Like what would be your ideal first date? So, Rose, since you say you still meet people out, whatever, Rhonda, you've met people online. I'm sure it goes to outside, but what would be considered a perfect first date for you ladies?
A perfect first date for me would be going out to breakfast, having a good conversation, just getting to know you a little bit better, seeing if our energy is matching, and then we can go on from there. Nothing super extravagant because I don't want you to think I owe you anything. So let's just keep it pretty simple. We go out with enough people in the daytime. I go to my car, you go to yours,
Right.
and then we'll see how it goes from there.
Okay, very good. I dated somebody one time and I was like, well, let's meet at Starbucks and get a cup of coffee. I don't drink Starbucks. I said, well, Starbucks sells more than just coffee. What if they do? What? Then we get that, oh, I don't know what is all this mess? I was like, oh hell no. Me and you ain't gonna work. We ain't look, anytime you can't go in there and figure out that that's really just a frozen drink, like give me a break. Ro, idea of a great first date.
For me, it would be something like going to a museum, going to a bookstore, going bike riding. I go on a walk. Go get like a tea and just walk around the lakefront and talk. You know what I'm saying? Get to know me. Let's go through the museum and look at art while you with me.
I love right a work of art and look at art. Right. Okay. I love it. I love both of you ladies' suggestions. Look, Rhonda, I love a good breakfast. Because I'm the type of person that if we good at breakfast, it'll turn over to brunch, then it'll go to happy hour, then we'll do dinner, and so I do like that. I do, right. Okay, Rhonda, somebody just said preach. Miss Rhonda, ask those real and hard questions. Philip, you've talked several times about people in the mask and people sending their representatives.
Mhm.
What advice would you give these ladies moving forward, especially in this world of just we're not sure anymore?
Well, I really do believe you should have faith that because faith is the one thing that I think we can all understand, and you should hold on to it. But what Rhonda said that I agree with 1,000% is don't be afraid to ask crucial conversations with someone that you are going to allow to be with you in a very intimate setting. If you think that this is a person you want to be with and they think they want to be with you, you don't really know each other. After 40, when you're 20, 19, 18, you can let things quote unquote develop. After 40, I need to be I need to be able to ask, like you said, how did you heal from that last relationship? Don't tell me you didn't need to do any healing. Just tell me how did you do it? What is your love language? What do I need to do? Do I need to buy things every so often? And don't get carried away, because no, I'm not going to open up an account at Louis Vuitton just for you. But what are the things that would make you happy so that you understand that I'm receiving you and I'm celebrating you? And I think if you don't ask those crucial conversations and you allow things to just develop in this kind of organic way, you may miss some of the information that you need to make a good decision.
Oh boy, I think I'm gonna need to lay down after this show because half of that, no, I'm gonna be honest. Half of that I understood, but the other half I've been very guilty of that, and that's
Mhm.
probably another whole show. Right, wrong. Okay, all right, right. See, here's the deal. Dr. Philip and Rhonda, they the rationales. They deal with look, Rhonda, we're gonna have to have you back. It's us dysfunctional. Right, yeah,
but
it's us
but
this.
we put the fun in dysfunctional.
Yes, right.
Right.
You do. You really do. And that's okay because you're being you. It's just that when you're with someone and you are being you, you can't lose sight of the fact that you don't know them. So while you having fun, while you on a walk, while you going someplace and doing, one of those scarf classes where you're dancing around in the air. I mean, come down and ask, what is your view on A, B, C, D, and E? If they
Mm,
can't talk about some serious things
mm.
while you are being fun and having a great time, you have to ask yourself why a gentleman of a certain age can't disclose some hard truths about himself.
Wow.
I know we both.
Wow.
I'm trying to breathe in this corset, and you like, wow.
Right, girl, look, I'm just gonna shut this computer lid down. I ain't even gonna say good night. Rhonda, I holler. I just was really I'm sitting there like, oh wow. I mean, but I don't know. Like you said, Ro, the dating pool is a mess. At my age, I've come to listen. I only want to be bothered Sunday night at 6 p.m. to Monday morning at 6 a.m. Other than that, you take your ass where you belong. You call
God, dog.
on me. Yeah, I just got to the point now where my life is so full that really, when it's time for me to lay down and get in that bed, I need you to be in your bed. I'm in my bed. I know. I keep getting old. Just keep getting old.
But all jokes aside, too, time is the one thing you can't get back. And when you decide to give someone or share your time with someone, you have to make sure that it's worth that expense because, again, it's not something you can recover and add more to the clock on. So when you start talking about, again, because we did say after 40, you have other things in life. That's why you have to be mindful of those pillars and make sure you're not overcompensating in some areas and not working on developing others. Because as you get older, you are more satisfied being on your own, and the quality of the person needs to be what screams out so that you'll say, okay, I'm going to give this time to see how this works.
Okay. All right. All right.
I love that.
Rhonda, in closing out tonight's show, I'm gonna let you give a comment and your thought and take on this. I would love to invite you back again. You did a great job. Funny, witty, all that. Very good. What do you want to say in closing about everything tonight with this topic?
I think that this is a great topic. I think a lot of us, women and men, and everybody is having a hard time dating over 40 because it's just different because of how people are today. But I think it's doable. I feel like there's still somebody made for everybody,
Hmm.
and I'm just gonna remain that way
I
until my
love it. I do. Look, you
Me
got a
too.
new bestie in me because I love it. I'm idolizing you now because that's incredible. It really is because a lot of people like, I done gave up. 80% of people, and that's what I wrote in my post, don't even think about dating, don't care to date. If you even, and not trying to be in people's personal business, but if you even say to people, when was the last time you had a little romance, a little somebody rubbing on your booty? Oh, that's been years. And I'm like, we are all meant to be loved and adored and appreciated. So we're going to have to continue this conversation down the road. Rhonda, don't go anywhere. We appreciate you. Stay right there. Great comment. And it really was a pleasure having you here with us tonight. Ro, what do you want to say in closing?
I guess in closing, it's take care of yourself. You
That's
know what
it.
I'm saying? Like take care of yourself, because if you haven't taken care of yourself, you can't really expect to take care of anyone else. You have to put the oxygen mask on first, because if you can't get the air, how you going to save somebody else? You can't. So in order to love someone, you got to do the deep dive.
I love it. I do. And I just want to say this to you, my friend, before Dr. Phillip says his closing thing to you. Um, Keep growing, my friend. Keep being fabulous.
Thank
Keep working at it. You are a prized possession. From the moment I met you years ago up until now, you have just always been just a very charismatic, charming woman. And don't let nobody grab your spirit like that. I hope you work through it all and just know you are loved and appreciated. Dr.
you.
Phillip, what do you want to say in Rose's closing?
In closing, I really just want to say remember that the people that you're with by the time we talk about 40, their bodies have recorded a lot of things, a lot of good things, but also a lot of trauma. And it has to be understood that sometimes things will trigger this and cause it to replay. We have to be more forgiving of each other
Mhm.
and learn to talk with each other. But in closing, I'd like to say that the most important part is to learn to love yourself, as that singer said, because that is the greatest love of all.
Absolutely, Miss Whitney Houston, the greatest love of all. Really, it is. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to remind you guys that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Want to remind both men and women the importance of going and getting your mammogram done. October is the time in which we talk about this, but we want to remind everybody to check on your health. Do what you need to do. You're not going to be out here dating nobody if your health is raggedy and no good, and you need to know who you are and what's going on with your body. So we do want to remind everyone to please schedule your mammogram. Schedule them as soon as possible. And yes, men can get breast cancer. Keep that in mind as well, too. Ladies, I just want to say to both of you, I love and appreciate you. You really made tonight's show amazing. I just came up with this idea to just start asking people in my database to just join me. Can't wait to have both of you back on the show. We're going to continue these conversations. Really, this started in my living room over 30 years ago of me bringing people together to talk about relationships. 12 couples have met and married through me in my public events that I've had. And so I'm just bringing it back. 12 people. I was at a party not even a month ago, and the husband and wife walked up to me and said, "You do know we met at your event?" And I was
Wow.
like, "You kidding me?" And they met 23 years ago at one of my events. And
Wow.
so I just believe in the power of love. I believe in the power of people. I don't think anything about us is different, other than male, female. And nowadays we live in this pronoun world. That doesn't make a big difference either. But the crazy part about all this, we're all in the same boat trying to find somebody to love the genuine and authentic us. And so that's why I appreciate you ladies for just sharing yourselves and being so open and friendly tonight. Rhonda, did you have a good time?
I did. I had a great time. I
Wonderful.
really
Look, I'm gonna hit you up again. We're gonna have another conversation. Look,
okay.
yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna
here
make
for
it
it.
happen. Okay, very good. And Ro, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you, everybody. For those of you all, please go to my website, therealchatdaddy.com. The website is being revamped very soon with new things on there. A lot of the celebrities I've taken pictures with, honey, they in trouble. Hell, half of them in jail. Half is in jail, and the other half. So, right, I got to redevelop my whole website. Right. Who does that? Right. I got to redevelop the whole website. So just be patient with me on that. We back on Tuesday night so that I can connect with the audience, and we're talking about love. We hate to say the show is entitled Love Hurts, but it's the truth. It's really the truth. When you think about it, people, your grandparents had them 50, 60-year marriages. Your parents may have had them 50-year marriages. We lucky, honey, if you can get somebody to stay 5 years. So I mean, it's a mess. Look, Rhonda said, right. It's just,
It
and that's
really is.
not what we're designed to be. People want to be in love with each other. I appreciate you guys so very much. Thank you all. Thank you, Takana. We appreciate you guys. The realchatdaddyshow.com, the Real Chat Daddy Show. Go to YouTube, Facebook, follow us, tell more people, and we'll be back next week. Thank you, ladies. Have a beautiful evening, and I'll talk to you both soon.
All
Bye.
right. Thank you.
Good
Night.
night. Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Phillip, that was great. Both of them
That
ladies
was.
really good. Yes, I
That was.
appreciate both of them. Wonderful ladies, lovely, all of that.
Yes.
All right, Doc. Well, we'll be back next week to have more conversations about relationships. Thank you so much for all that you do. Anything you want to say for people to leave out this week with?
Take care of yourself.
That's right. Take care of yourself. Make enough money so you can take care of me. We'll be back next week.
Totally.
Love you guys.
Good night.
Hey, Katrina. Oh, we got quite a few people coming in now. Oh, thank you all. We really appreciate you. Yes, great show tonight. We really do appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful evening. We'll talk to you all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.